Welcome everyone. For those who do not know me yet, my name is Nikita and I work here at Some Engineer as a Some Engineer. The topic of today's demo is Risotto from zero to hero, and my plan is to do a demo. I will show how to install Risotto, how to launch it, how to configure it, do the first collection of the resources on DigitalOcean, and then I will show how to make text and then how to delete it. So basically all the things that you need to get started with Risotto, they're going to be covered. Before we go with the installation, I just want to give you a promise so that after these 15 minutes, when I'm done with the presentation, you'll have knowledge and you'll be empowered to go tomorrow to your work, and you'll be able to make real impact in your organization in terms of developer productivity and in terms of saving possibly thousands or millions or euros by pruning those unused resources. Okay, let's get started. Where is the shell? Okay, that's the shell. Okay, so the installation step is very easy if you use Docker Compose, and I'll just follow it along. So we have this awesome documentation page that has this nice thing we can copy and insert into our shell. What do I have? Okay, it's all clear. Docker Compose up. Okay, now it already pre-cached the Docker images, that's why it's instantaneous, but it will take you 20 seconds, no more, to get it started. And after we get our Docker Compose running, we can run our shell with the docker exec command. Okay, awesome. So now we are in, we can go to the configuration part. And I will give you the configuration example from DigitalOcean, not because we support it the most. Actually, our best support cloud is AWS, but because it is quite easy to get started with DigitalOcean. So what you need to do is to go to your DigitalOcean account, generate new token, enter some name, get the scopes. So you can set write scope, which is not necessary, but in case you want to remove something, you can always do it. Otherwise, it will only get you insights about your resources, and it will be totally safe to do any command with the read-only token. I already did it to save some of the time, and I will show you how you would do it in your own installation. So you type configs edit risotto.worker, and you get the default editor installed here open for you. And there are two things that you need to do. First, you need to go to this collection section of the YAML file, and then you need to describe which collectors you want to get running. For example, it can be AWS or DigitalOcean or Kubernetes or whatever else we will develop in the future. Then another interesting part is to enable the cleanup of resources. So I added quite a few safeguards, so you will not wipe your cloud even if you have the right token by default. So you need to enable the cleanup, and you also need to enable the dry run. So if you do not have this enabled, it will just say what is going to delete, but nothing will happen. And that's the part that we need to configure regarding the worker. And here we have the token from DigitalOcean. All right, with this out of the way, we can try to create a resource on DigitalOcean, and we will be able to collect it. So let me create a droplet. Let's create it in Frankfurt. Some cheap version of it, and we hit the create button. Okay, let's hope it's going to be up and running in less than a minute. I think that should be the case here. And in order to collect, we have this command called workflows run collect. So once you type it in and hit enter, what is going to happen is that the worker is going to receive it, and it will start querying the API of your configured clouds. In our case, it is the DigitalOcean. Okay, and we have our first droplet. That is great, and we can hit it here. Another reason why I decided to use DigitalOcean is that the collection is usually very fast. There are only a number of resources, I think around 20 or something, and we don't need to wait for hours until the whole cloud is scanned. We can also see which workloads are still running to monitor the progress. So right now the collection is still there. I think maybe we need to wait 20 or 30 more seconds, and it's going to be done pretty soon. So we have our droplet. Maybe let's go to the droplet tab to see that it is here. Okay, sorry, droplets. The collection seems to be done, and now we are going to the search part of the demo. And it is as easy as, for example, search is, and then you define the kind. In our case, is the DigitalOcean droplet. And here we go. We got our droplet, which is created 1 minute 59 seconds ago. And let's do some tagging. To tag our droplet, we need to define a search, and then we can pipe it into the tag command. So tag update, it will either update or create, depending on if you already have the tags on your resource or not. So if you do it, it will wait a little bit. All right, we got the control back. And what we see here, if we refresh the page, we will see that the droplet got tags. So one thing to note here, in DigitalOcean, you cannot define values for tags. So tags are only defined as keys, but since we support keys and values, we use this trick to do double dash to separate the key and the value. So in our shell, you can use key values as usual, but in DigitalOcean, they look a little bit different. All right, now that we have the resource with a tag, what can we do here? Well, one thing is to search by this tag. So we can say that text.foo equals bar, and we got our droplet. So it's useful if you have this tag taken automatically, and then you can always search by text without even invoke saying this should be DigitalOcean resource or some other resource or some other kind. So if you have the tag, you can do operations with it. And what operations are possible? Well, one option is to clean it. So if I type clean, it will put this resource into the clean queue, and every other hour there's the collect and clean job running in the background, which will pick up the resource to be clean and clean them all at once. And to force it right now, we can always say workflows run cleanup, and cleanup has started, and possibly okay, that's already the deletion part. And possibly this droplet no longer exists. Do we see our droplet? Oh, okay, it's gone. So that's how you save your money, by removing things that you don't want to have in your cloud. Last thing, which I'm not going to demo, but all what we did before is also possible to set up a job in Resoto, which will be automatically triggered. For example, here we wait for post collect event, but you can also have the cron schedule to trigger at some specific time of the day, and it's going to execute your command. For example, here we are going to search every resource that has the tag named foo with the value bar, and we are going to send it to clean. Additionally, it's also possible to report the results of this command to Discord. We have the webhook support to send to Discord, to Slack. Slack, I think it's not yet in the final release, but we did this feature during our hackathon, and you can get notified pretty easily. So that is it about how to get started and be productive with Resoto.